Hey everybody, today we are talking about Vaieon by V. Casa. I actually came across this book because it was recommended to me by the author. I had never heard of it before and probably never would have picked it up otherwise because it's not necessarily something that I would have thought that I would be interested in, but I've been pleasantly surprised. It is part of the Vai Trilogy, and I'm currently on the second book and just finished the first book recently, and I was quite surprised with how much I liked it because it is a story about a girl named Lily, or a woman named Lily, who gets transported through time and lands in the Cretaceous period and is surrounded by dangerous dinosaurs and has to see if she's going to be able to survive and figure out why in the world she's living with dinosaurs and why she was dropped into this specific time period and how can she get back to her family. We start off at the very beginning of the book with her just doing her daily routine, waking up her children. She has 2 kids. They're both fairly young still, and they're just getting ready for the day and just very little with the family. We get like 12 pages of this, kind of backstory of her being a mother and her tucking them in at night and going to sleep, and then the next thing she knows, she's waking up and she's in the middle of this forest. And so we do not have very much time wasted at all just being in the present day. One of the things that I really liked about this was reading it and thinking, what would I do? Would I have done that? Or would I survive if it were me? And you really never know unless you're put in that position, because I could say no, I definitely wouldn't survive for very long. But everyone has some survival instincts in them, so it's possible that my drive and my adrenaline and for survival is kicked up really high, so maybe I would actually be able to survive longer than I think. But some of the things that she does to try and stay alive is she climbs up really high in the trees so that no one can get her from there, and she sleeps there, and eventually she learns how to use the branches and the sticks of trees to make more of a bed situation that's flat, so it's easier for her to sleep in the tree. But she also has to figure out how she's supposed to eat, and so she has a diet of bugs pretty much and flowers, and she's losing a lot of weight because she's not really eating a lot of stuff. She's nervous about lighting a fire at first because if she to have more protein, she doesn't really want to cook something over a fire because she's afraid the smell will attract people, or not people, dinosaurs and things to her. We have right away a couple of instances of T-Rexes finding her or almost finding her or being suspicious of where she might be at, and how she gets out of danger and out of harm's way, and the different things that she does. We have lots of action scenes because of this, trying to protect herself. And yeah, so there's a lot of cool things because it's different than your a lot of the things that we see nowadays, which is Jurassic Park and things like that, where dinosaurs are being brought back to where humans are, versus this is the human is going back to where they actually were thriving when the dinosaurs were alive in their own time. And so, and also she's by herself, she's alone, so she's not, and she wasn't prepared for any of this, she wasn't expecting any of this, and so she has it's a totally different experience in this way than how other dinosaur stories are in films and things that we've seen, which I appreciated because that made it feel more interesting to read. I will say though, I was struggling a little bit when I was reading after she's dumped here. There's no more dialogue in the book. It's just several paragraphs back to back about her trying to figure out how to survive, trying to find food, which is all great, but for me, I am very much a dialogue driven reader, I guess you could say. Like, I really crave the breaking up of paragraphs to have, you know, some information, some narration, and then going to some dialogue between characters. And we just weren't getting that. And I was really worried. I was like, is the rest of this book just going to be like this? Like, is she going to just talk to herself ever? Like, even just that, if the, you know, the writing style changes to where, you know, she says something in her head and it's more of a dialogue in that kind of a way, even that would have been better. I was like waiting for that, and then I was like, well, or why can't she like just talk out loud or just talk to dinosaurs or something? And so I was really nervous because I was getting pretty far into the book and I just didn't know if it was going to be like this the whole time. And luckily, right about the time when I was starting to think that way, she starts using her voice and realizes how weird it is to talk because she hasn't talked for so long, because she's trying to be quiet so the dinosaurs don't find her. And she does start talking to some dinosaurs, and it was just a very welcome thing. It very much helped me out in having those changes. And there were a lot of like fast-paced things in this as well, because I'm thinking like, how much longer, you know, can a story be if all you're doing is like trying to survive by doing the exact same things every day? There's got to be something to happen to make this continually stay interesting. And luckily, we do get that as well. The author helps us along with, oh, now here's this crisis. Oh, now here's this thing. And about halfway through the book, we get a little bit of answers as to how she got into the Cretaceous period, which is great because as a reader, it is kind of just like, how did she get here? Like, I need some explanation so that I can buy that this is actually happening to her, that this isn't just like a dream. Like, I need some evidence that, you know, some kind of logical explanation as much as you can get of how she traveled back in time. And so we do get a little bit of that in like about midway. It doesn't give us all the answers, and so we speculate the same way that Lily is speculating about this information that she now has that is more than she did have. And so she at least can start to accept some things, but she's also put into a position of frustration with learning this information. It also comes with many new questions that she has, and so she struggles a lot with that as well. By the end of it, you think like, okay, how is she going to survive this? She's going to die eventually, right? Whether it be of getting eaten by a dinosaur or old age or just poisoning of eating something that she shouldn't have, like just something. But like I said at the beginning, this is a trilogy. So somehow she has to survive long enough for there to be 2 more books. And so we at least know going into this that she's going to be surviving at least for 3 books worth of struggling in these time periods that she was not supposed to be in. And so I don't want to say much more about like those, like how she survives or how she gets to the next book or what exactly she goes through, because I feel like, you know, if I give you any more, then it's kind of just giving away too much. And I want you to be surprised with these twists and turns just like I was. If you want to read a book about dinosaurs and like humans being with dinosaurs, if you want that dynamic and you want to see how she copes with this and how she, you know, just grows as a person being put in this position, like, I do really like this character. I like Lily. I think she's very interesting in how she sees the world and how she adapts to the things that she never thought she would have to, and how we really do stay present in this time. There's not a lot of moments where we are reminded that she's not supposed to be there, that she's, you know, like she's sad about not being home. Like, yes, there's moments where, of course, she's gonna feel that sadness of missing her family, but we don't linger on it too long so that, you know, she can push through what she's currently going through and survive and get answers. And I like that, because if it dwelled too much on, like, you know, her family and stuff, we as readers got like I said, like maybe 12 pages of her family and that was it. So for us, it's a little harder for us to feel you know, sad about her being away from her family when we didn't even really connect with her family like she did. So I like that it didn't linger too much on that. And so we could just kind of stay with the whole current situation that she's in. But anyway, I'm in the second book now, which is Vaieon, and I'll be reviewing the second one in a couple of weeks once I'm finished with it. So if you'd like to hurry and read the first two books before then so that you can join me again on the second book, then go ahead and do that. The books are on Kindle Unlimited if you'd like a nice easy place to find them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.